Renier?
Hallo?
Hallo.
Hi.
Dit is live op YouTube. Jy kan so lank begin.
Alright, dankie.
Okay.
Right, good morning. All the people that logged in, I can see we're getting a few regulars here. Good morning to you all. I would just like to know for today, let's just get going. I can see most of you can hear me. Let me know two things. The town you're in currently and the province you're in currently. Let's see where everyone comes from at this particular stage before we go on. Just quickly write there in the comment or the chat section, the town that you reside in and the province that you're coming from, just to get the fingers up and running on this lovely morning. All right, Free State, welcome Elise. Alberton, Carl, Henry, welcome from Gauteng, close to where I'm living. Right, let's see, a few others of you, just tell me in which town you are and which province you are. Okay, some of you, Alberton, I'm from Kenton Park. That's where I reside at this particular stage close to the airport. So we always hear the good morning, Joshua. Let's see, a few people just quickly type there in the chat where you are, the town that you're from and which province you're from. Okay, so we've also got from Randburg. Good morning there. Good morning to all the people. Okay, right, so let's dive into it. You are here for CAT grade 12, and today I said I'm going to deal with conditional formatting from yesterday and the day before. If you want to catch some of the grade 11 lessons for CAT, I know my colleague in the grade 11 room is doing the lessons for if and sum if and count if. He's doing all those lessons this week in Excel. I'm doing the grade 12 part, which is the nested if, the HLOOKUP, VLOOKUP. I'm going to do conditional formatting today. And tomorrow I'm going to do count if s, sum if s. So if you want to catch up on some of the grade 11 stuff, I've put in the link there where you can go and find yesterday's lesson on YouTube. So feel free to go through that lesson. He just explains the basics of the if statement for us and the count if and the sum if. So if you want to go through that, then tomorrow we can do the sum if s and the count if s. Right. So for today, let's get diving into it. I'm going to do conditional formatting. And I'm going to do conditional formatting with a kind of a twist into it. I'm going to put in the part at the bottom which says more rules. Okay, so if you go to conditional formatting, this is the nice thing about Office and about Excel. They've kind of created what we call a front end. Now, if you can remember back to your grade 10 here, the first things that they put in there or that they drill into your head is input, process, output, storage. Those three things. So what Excel has done, it has made up a lovely interface for us to do conditional formatting. And there on the screen, you would find that there's greater than, less than, between, equal to, text that contains data occurring, duplicate values. Interesting, the first three has to do with numbers. And take a look, I can't move my little round thing anymore, but take a look there at what those little things they say in between, because it actually shows you a bit in between. So that blue, that shows there's a range and you're looking for something only in between that. But for most part, it is you're looking for something specific, something smaller, something bigger, something that's exactly text that contain dates and duplicate values. So Excel had created this little interface for us, which is kind of an input interface, which is kind of the front end. We can talk about the front end of what they are doing. I see we're up to 24 participants. For those of you that just joined us, welcome to the class. We're doing conditional formatting, but we're going to do it with formulas and functions. Okay, so what I was saying is that they give us a new interface for us to use for the simple tasks. But you know, and I know that we're CAT students and we're CAT learners and we're CAT teachers, so we can do the difficult tasks as well. So that's what I'm going to show you today. And all of this is actually based on the same thing, all of them. And I'm going to show you. So we're going to just manage the rules today. Conditional formatting works on the following principle. If a criteria is met, then we're going to format the cells. Remember, I said there's three things here. There is functions, formulas, formatting. And the formatting works also with functions and formulas. But the one it actually works with is the if statement. That's the reason why we did the if statement. And like I said, just go back to the grade 11 lesson, which I put the link in, and you'll find the if statement. Let me show you. Let's just go to our Excel here. Okay, so this is still from yesterday's example. I'm going to just insert a row there. I'm going to write there an if statement. So I'm just going to say equal if. Now I just want to show you if it's male or female. So I'm going to put that, if that is equal to female, then we're going to write there the word female. Otherwise, we're going to have nothing there. So this is kind of how conditional formatting works. It checks for something through an if statement. And if it's like that, it will do only the true part. It won't do the false part. So if I'm going to do this, it's just going to filter for me, or it's just going to do something on female. So conditional formatting actually also kind of works with an if statement. The only thing that's missing is these parts. Let me show you. So in conditional formatting, you would type this in. There we go. What did we do? We just took away the essential part. So what Excel has done for us, it gave us a very nice interface to do it. Okay, but it's still the same thing. It's still an if statement. So if I go back to my, to find just my PowerPoint, there we go. But this, because we're working with formatting, the third F, we're doing conditional formatting and we just put a true statement in front of it. Or Excel does it for us. Okay, right, so let's go and see how this actually works. I'm going to leave this here. Let's do the following. I'm going to highlight here, right? And I'm going to do just a normal conditional formatting. I'm just going to say, highlight cell rules if it is equal to female. And let's just put in the green fill with dark text. There we go. Right. So that is conditional formatting for us. So I did it conditional formatting. I think you are all familiar with this one. If you're not, we just went to conditional formatting. We had the highlight cell rules. But let us go now and take a look at kind of the back end of this, how Excel actually does this. So let's go back here to manage rules. And here they give us kind of an if statement. They said, if the cell value equals to female, put down that kind of formatting and apply that to that particular range. Right, there we can see it there. Okay, so it is kind of like an if statement. They said, take this if it contains a female. And then we have just applied to that. Right, so if we're going to edit the rule, it is format cells that contain. But all of this, this first one, this second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are all exactly the same as this. And this is the one which I'm going to show you now. Right. Format cells with. This is just a nice interface. Okay. Let's go and do the same now. I'm going to highlight the same thing again. I'm going to do the same thing, but now I'm going to use a formula. So I'm going to go to manage rules and I'm going to create a new rule. And I'm now going to use a formula to determine the format. Right. So if you can remember back here, what we did, we said equal if, let's just put it there. Sorry, let me just put it there. So there, let's just change this to the lens and let's make this a bit bigger. Okay, so there. So you can see if E4 equals female, right? So that was my condition there in the if statement. So I'm now going to go to conditional formatting. I'm going to go to manage rules. I'm going to put in a new rule. Right, I'm going to use a formula. Okay, so what did I say there? If E4 equals female. So I'm going to put here E4, remember we're working with a function and formulas now. So we start with equal. E4 equals female. That's it. Exactly the same thing as when we use this. Right, so I'm just going to change the format here a bit. Let's just put in a format. Let's just let's put it in a fill now. Let's just make it red there and click OK. And now this applies to, okay, not only that one, but I'm going to change that to that part over there. Right. Important thing is still, I'm keeping it, and I'm going to tell you now what there's also a bit of an issue here with this particular one. But this is absolute cell referencing because we're only going to do it on this range. And Excel automatically puts that in for us. And that is sometimes where the issue is. Right, so this is only the first part. Okay, so if I apply like that, and I go to my formatting, and let's just go to manage rules back again, and let's go just this worksheet. Let's just delete that rule for now. It's still not applying to us. Let's just see what we've done wrong here. Let's go and edit the rule. Female, sorry, not C4. Where should it be? Not C4, not C4. Let's see in the chat. Let's go to the chat again. Let's see, where should it be? It's not C4. Where should it be? In? Yeah, there we go. People are, sorry, apologies. I put it in the wrong place. So that should be E4. Okay, so if we apply now, there we go. We did the exact same thing as we did with the previous rule. But now we only use the formula. Okay, there's still an issue here. I'm going to deal with that issue just now. Okay. It's fine. It's fine and it's not fine. Make no mistake, I'm just going to tell you a subtle lie. Okay, but if you do the subtle lie in the exam, the examiner is going to look at it and say, he got it wrong. I'm not going to give him his mark. Okay, if you apply this to a single range of cells, it works perfectly. You don't have a problem. So the way I did it here, it works perfectly with this particular conditional formatting. There's no problem here. As soon as I want to expand this formula, the following happens. Okay, so I said I only want a conditional format this particular set of cells based on if it's male or female. Right. Okay, let me go and show you now what happens if I expand this. So I'm now going to select not only that column, but I'm now going to select everything. All right, so now comes the issue, hopefully. Okay, it stays on this part here. What it's supposed to do, or what I told it to do, is the following. I told it, apologies, do this whole part. If that is equal to female, do this whole part. Now look what happened here. Now it jumped. And I didn't change that. I just said make it E4. So this is the kind of the problem which we're facing now. I'm not sure about what the problem is. It's somewhere at the back end, I think, where there's a problem. But we have to kind of fix the column. If we don't fix the column, if we don't absolute cell reference a column, it's going to carry havoc for all of us. I'm going to show you now how they actually do that. So what we have to do, we have to fix the column by putting the dollar sign in front of it, and now I'm going to put the E. I do not fix the row. That I don't do. I'm going to show you now how Excel works on this. So if I click OK, if I click apply, there we go. What it says now is if $E, which means fix only the column for me, is equal, and the first one there is 4. Then format this whole range according to this formatting. Now, the way it actually does or interprets this part is, remember I said it's using an if statement. So it says if string E, so we're going to take a look down this one the whole time, but that is not fixed. So it's going to go here into the first one. Yeah, is that female? Yes. Okay, so we format this whole part here. Then it goes down, is string E, but then it's going to be string E5. Unfortunately, there's no other way I can tell you this except to explain it like this. So we can say there, if string E5 equals female, which it's not, so it's not going to apply there. Next one, string E6. Is that female? No. The same with 7, the same with 8. Now we start with string E9. Is that female? Format that whole thing. So you have to have this in front. If the range on which you're checking, you have to have that dollar in front of the column. You have to have that in front. Otherwise, it just literally, I don't know actually how it then checks. I think it goes across or down or whatever, but it just doesn't apply. I can go back and edit the rule and just take that away. Do you see what happens? Now it takes away that one if we don't put the dollar sign in front. So it's not referencing properly if you don't fix the row. And yeah, according to me, this is a bug in Excel. Excel and Microsoft people will differ with me on this issue. And that is why when you do these things, it always puts in the absolute cell referencing, because that to me shows it's a bug. It's not a feature or whatever. But this is my personal opinion. Those people that want to throw bricks and muds and all of them, feel free. But that's my personal opinion. All right, so important here, I'm going to edit the rule again. I'm going to put the dollar sign in front, just to make sure that we do this. And please do this, otherwise it's not going to work perfectly. And in the exam, they do mark it. I'm not sure if they mark it with or without the dollar sign. It was asked last year. The memos haven't been made available to us. I'm talking now specifically public education. The memos haven't been made available to us yet. So I'm not sure if they actually mark that little dollar sign or not. I think in the comments on YouTube and that, one of the markers can maybe enlighten us to that particular one. All right. Any questions at this stage before I go on with this? Anyone in to givers, takers? I'm even prepared to put you on live on the air if you've got a question. Everyone happy? Yep. Yep. E4, E4. Yeah, that is correct. Okay. Just please put there in the chat, is everyone still with me? I know you are very quiet and you think you're going to get thrown off. I've got there from my buddy, if as long as it's related to the cat, then they won't throw you off. And please, grade 12, there's no such thing as a dumb question. There's no such thing as a dumb question. The only one that's dumb around here is maybe the wood and the furniture, because they can't do anything. All right, so yeah, all is well, all is good. So I guess that everyone is actually enjoying and actually understand. I hope you're understanding this. All right, okay, I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so that's what I said. It actually just uses an if statement. Okay, so using a formula to format cells, a relative is just using the cell reference without the $sign. And if you want to have more on the $sign, I think it's going to be done today in a grade 11 cat. I'm not sure. I'm talking under correction, but according to what I know, it's going to be done in the cat grade 11, which is 4 o'clock or 4 o'clock this afternoon. Yes, I'll also be there because I'm also a host for that. Right. So for absolute, we're going to put a $sign in front of the rows and columns usually. So that's absolute cell referencing. But for our conditional formatting, we're only going to put the $sign in front of the columns, not the rows. So that's important. And then we've done that particular part there. We're going to use a formula function in there. And grade 12, believe it or not, every single formula you can type into Excel, every function you can type into Excel, you can use there. You can use sum, count, min, max, if, VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP. I mean, it's not limited because the basis of this is that behind the scenes, they put an if in front of it. And then it just works like a normal if statement. Right. Let's continue with this. Okay, so that's what I said. A relative referencing of cells instead of absolute referencing for the rows. So you would put your $sign in front of your column, and you would have just the normal row there so that Excel can go and check every condition as it is if an if statement. Right. Okay, next one. Okay, what is function? What is formatting? Yeah, there's one or four things you can do there. You can change the format of the number. You can change the font. Usually they're going to ask you to change the font or something like this, the border, the fill. So there's 4 things you can do with formatting. I think you all know about that one because that is kind of what you do in grade 10. The first Excel lesson. Format this to this, format this to this. That's the first thing you do. So this would be straight up forward for you. All right. Okay. Let's do something here. Okay, so it says there, highlight the times after 12 o'clock to all females. Highlight times after 12 o'clock to females. Apply the rules in order. Okay, this is a let's leave that one for now. Let's just go to the first one because we're working here with times. I'm going to show you something about times. How we're doing for time. We are 20 minutes past, so we've still got some time left. Right, let's do this one. Fill the cells of the salary with blue. Of all of those who travel expenses is more than 5,600. The travel expenses percentage is located in cell D2. Okay, so it's quite a few things that we have to do. Let's go. I'm going to read it to you as we go on. There we go. That's where I want to do. So I'm just going to delete this rule for now. Okay, right. So what they want us to do, fill the cells of the salary with blue. of all of those whose travel expenses is more than 5,600. So I'm just going to delete here. Okay, so this is kind of also a revision from yesterday. So let's put here travel expenses. Okay, so this one should not be difficult to calculate. Let's go to the chat. Okay, so we need to first just calculate the travel expense of the people. Chat to me. If someone is actually feeling up to it to talk, feel free to raise your hand and let's see if we can unmute you and then you can talk. How would we do the travel expenses? There's a travel expense percentage. There's a per people's salary. Any takers on putting up your hand and doing this in real time with me? Anyone? Come, please. Come, there's a few people here that I know can do this. Okay. Someone says percentage of the salary. That is cool. Yeah, we're going to get the percentage of the salary. No one want to put up their hand to do this live for me, with me. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Some people don't have mics. Yeah, I forgot that. Okay, no, that's fine. Salary multiplied with a percentage, that is correct. We're going to do that one. The one with the max, not really do. Max is always on a set of values, not just a single value. Here we want to calculate a single value, row for row. Okay, because we're pressed with time, I'm quickly going to do this. So we're going to say equal the salary multiplied with the travel expense, but that one we're going to fix because it has to show back the whole time to that. So string D, string 2, right? Okay, so we copy that down. So that's the first part of the question. Fill the cells of the salary, with blue. So we don't want to highlight the travel expenses. We want to highlight the salary with blue. Okay, yes, we would kind of do it using conditional formatting with highlight cell rules if it is this one, if it is greater than 5,600. So that would suffice. Okay. Yeah, the fix is in A4. Well, what do I mean when I say fix it? I mean that we take this value and we absolute cell reference it to that particular part. That's what I mean with fix. I think it's a general thing that we just use. We fix the salary, we fix that particular cell. Right, yes, okay, that is correct. Okay, so what we want to do, if the travel expense is above 5,600, we want to highlight that person's salary. But I don't want to do it using this one, that one. I don't want to use that because all of these are actually this. That's what it is. All of them. It's just a nice front end to get to here. Now, most of the people, like I said, won't have a problem. They'll use that because that's the way they were taught. But we can't. We use the engine. We use, if you want to go, you use everything to the max. You go big or you go home. Right, okay. So format the cell. So that travel expense. So we're going to start with equal. And now I'm going to put there the travel expense. But take a look now, automatically it puts it for me as absolute cell reference. And again, like I said, this is what Excel does with conditional formatting, which, yeah, let's just leave it at that. Okay, so I'm going to take away that one. So if that is, it says there, more than 5,600. So it should be greater than 5,600. So that's what I'm saying. Okay, so the formatting, what must the formatting be? The salary with blue. I'm not sure if it's the border, the font or whatever. It's blue, that blue there. Yeah, okay, that's cool. So we're going to click OK, but now we're going to apply that to our salary. There we go. And this one is important. Let's just, so that people can see better. This one is important with the conditional formatting because we're applying it to one set range of cells. And that's when absolute formatting becomes very important for us. The first part, again, is only fix the column because of, that's the way Excel wants to do it. That one is not. So if we click apply, there we go. Let's just go and see if it actually worked. So above 5,600. So that one, I'm just going to maybe let it go a bit down. Yeah, you can see here. So it shouldn't be a problem, this particular one. Right. Okay. So that's 8,700. So that's fine. It must be above 5,600. That one is not. That one is. That one is. Yeah, that is correct. Everything that is. And do you see, we did not use this one. We did not use this one. We used our own manage rules. And if you understand the way manage rules work, then you'll understand that this is actually not necessary, because you're the cat learner. You're the smart one. You're the one that's going to go into, and you're going to be the PC support. When you go to work, you're going to say, oh, yeah, this is the way we do it. And if you see again, you go on courses and everyone tells you, yeah, you're the guy, you're the go-to guy. And then you're going to regret that. All right. Show all the employees that has an above salary in red. Display only their names and surnames in red. Okay, so brain bomb here. Okay, this is worse than a Zoom bombing. Okay, now I've now completely bombed your brains. Okay, let's go to the chat. We've got some time in hand. Chat with me. How do you think we're going to do this? Conditional formatting. We want to show all the employees that is above salary in red. Display only their names and surnames in red. Okay. Immediately, what do you think? Which function should we be using? Come, let's go with the chat. Let's start there. Remember I said yesterday, when you're going to analyze these questions, think about input and output. Calculate the average. Kyle, you're correct. We're going to have to calculate the average. Carlos, using an if function, yes, it's going to, yes, you're quite correct, but we're not going to use the if function as is and if, because we're working with conditional formatting. The conditional formatting itself is the if function. Manage the rules, new rules, that is correct. Okay, so we're getting a few people that's thinking about this one. Okay, so we need to somehow calculate the average of the salary, and then we have to apply the formatting. So listen to me carefully what I'm saying here. I'm saying the output should be people with above average salary. So we need to use an average and we need to use a conditional formatting. Okay, let's go and do this one. Let's see. You can go along with me. All right, let's just put in the lens view and make that a bit bigger so that everyone can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go to manage rules and I'm going to go to new rule. Okay, so we're going to use a formula to determine. Okay, so which formula did you guys say we should use? Just say again there on the chat. Average, yes, we should use the average. So we're going to say get the average of what? Come on the group chat. Come, let's deal with this one. Let's do this. Let's do this. We need to get the average of what? Yes, of the salaries. We need to get the average of the salaries. So we're going to get the average of the salaries. There we go. So we highlight. There we go. So there we go. We need to highlight. Okay. Now remember what I said here. Excel gives us this thing as fixed. Okay, but this is now where kind of you have to think, if it was just a single simple criteria, right, then it would be fine. So my question to you here is, you want to get the average of just that. This is, and someone just, and I said it here a bit back when someone told me max. Someone told me max. And I said, We do it on a set of values. Right, okay. So we need to keep this one in this case. So that's where the difference is. We're going to keep the $sign in front of the rows as well, because this is not just a line for line formatting anymore. It now becomes formatting on a set of values. I doubt if they're going to ask you this one. I doubt it. But, you know, if you understand what's going on here, you should be able to do this one. On the previous example that I did, we did a line for line if. But now we have to do it on a whole set of data. Sum, min, max, average, count, those 5. Remember in Access, they're called aggregate functions. Why are they called aggregate functions? Because it is applied on a set of data. Same here with Excel. Sum, min, max, count, average is always applied on a set of data, and we don't want that set of data to move at this particular stage. Right. I think I might have lost a few people. Okay, right. So we want to work out the average, but we want to apply that particular average, that it must be bigger than the current salary that that person has. Whoa. Who can help me? Let's see in the chats. Who can help me? What are we going to add here? We're going to need to add something here. We need to check against what? Yes, we've got it. There's one that says we need to check it against the salary. Yes, so that must be greater. Is it greater or less than? The salary must be greater than the average salary. So I'm going to go, going to put it there in front, and I'm going to say the salary is D. So string D4 must be greater than the average salary. I'm going to be honest with you. I can literally hear all over this country we are sitting, either in Wittelsrus or in Gauteng on the Western Cape. Mind blown, sir. I don't understand. I don't have a clue. Your mind just blew up. I can actually hear it. I can see those smoke bombs coming from the Free State and the Western Cape and Gauteng, Alberton. I can see it. I can really see it. Let me analyze this for you. So we want to take the person's salary and compare it to the average salary. Remember I said with this, we can check, we can use formulas, functions, formatting, anything. We can use it there. We just need to make sure that the value that we are checking, in this case, the guy's salary, is greater than the average of all of those salaries. Now, remember what I said? Those sum, min, max, count, average, they are all aggregate functions. Aggregate meaning on a data set. Go back to last week's Access, you'll see it there. Right, but we need to check the individual's salary. And remember we said, when we do individual cells, we need to put the $sign here in front because it's conditional formatting. Right. Yes, they still want us to display only the name and surname. I'm going to get to that one just now. Right. Okay, so what is the format that we need to do? We need to do it in red. So I'm going to make the full. It says they display their names and surnames, salary in red. Okay, so I'm going to do it just like that, red. But now, okay, so that's kind of my if statement. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. If I had to do that as an if statement, I would say equal if round bracket. Okay, I wouldn't have that one there, that $sign, because it would be a normal if statement. But it would be if D4 is greater than the average of that salaries, comma, value if true, comma, value if false. And remember I said, this one is an if statement. It is all that it is. and we just need to add that $sign there. Okay, right. So they only want us to apply it to the names and surnames. So I'm going to put there their names and surnames. Let's just go back down. There we go. Okay, interestingly, that one we should fix always because it only applies to that set of data. Okay, let's see, apply. Boom. Whoa, there we go. There we go. So, okay, how do we know if it's true or not? Let's go and take a look quickly. I'm just going to put in there something. Let's go full screen. Right. So I'm just going to put there equal average, and then we supply those ones there. Okay, so that's an average. So the average is 44,000, and we will only want to display that of people whose salary is above that, so above the 44,000. So that would be that one, that 94,000, 84,000. It's not doing this one though. I'm not sure why. We can go and check it just now. 30,000, 39, 82,000. Yeah, it does everyone except this one. I'm not sure why, to be honest with you, because this guy has got an above average salary. It is above 55,000. Interesting. So according to me, this is kind of the bug. I think that's why they won't ever ask you this particular type of one, which is extremely difficult. But for most part, it is actually working. I'm not going to see whatever the problem is at this particular stage, why this one is not doing it. I'm just going to cheat a bit. Nope, sorry, I'm cheating. Can't even cheat properly. Can't even cheat properly. There we go. There I've oh, heaven knows. Do you see what happens when you want to cheat? You just get it wrong the whole time. Right. I'm just going to undo that there. Right. Okay, so I'm not sure why this one is working. I'll go and check, and I might put it underneath the YouTube because there's a YouTube link to that particular part. If anyone also knows, maybe teachers out there, why this one is not doing, because if you take a look at my conditional formatting and manage rules, let's just, yeah, that's a different one. Let's just go and edit the rule because it might be, yeah, do you see what happened there? No, this is conditional formatting. No? Then people tell me there's nothing wrong here and it works properly. It does not work properly sometimes. Let's see now if it's going to work. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Now it put the guy's stuff. Okay, yeah, because I just put it on that one. No, that is correct. I just, yeah, now it's working perfectly. Yeah, before D23. Yeah, it's working perfectly now. Yes, because somehow when I pressed enter whatever, it went and changed that. So if it doesn't work properly, yeah, that's what sometimes happens. But there we go. It highlighted that guy, right, without cheating. Okay, that's one thing that I actually did pick up, and I just literally forgot to, flew out of my head this morning. That
Renier, you've got 5 minutes.
Thank you, ma'am. Do you see I also have got a teacher that tells me how much time I've got left in that. Right, the blue isn't highlighted, so yes, the blue won't be highlighted because remember that one is a different conditional formatting rule, and we've only got let's go to all sheets, this worksheet. Okay, so the first rule is only for the salaries. The second rule is only applied on this one. So I did it specifically to show you the difference in the rules. Yeah, for the 55,000, because here with this one, we had the rule was if they no, it's not going to go there. If their travel expenses is about 5,600, then we highlight that one. Right, and this guy's travel expenses is not above 5,600. So that's why it's not highlighting this one. I just want, I did it to show you the difference in the rules. All right. Okay, let's quickly, I've got almost no time left. Right. Oh, yeah. Now we've run all out of time at this stage. All right, quick takeaway. Create the formula starting as usual with the equal sign. Put in the fixed referencing for this column and use normal referencing for the rows, because conditional formatting using values is nothing but an if statement. That's all it is. And if you see it that way, you will always 100% of the time get it right. Right, quick one. This is a nice YouTube video. I actually forgot when I looked at it, but I thought this is kind of a nice way to look at this as well. This will be available on YouTube. I just quickly need to finish off, then I'll put back until she kicks us out of the system here. Right, tomorrow, what we're doing tomorrow, count if, s, some if, s. Right, go check yesterday's video for the grade 11 work. And then, oops, why did I not fill that in? That is interesting. All right, so I am done. Thank you, everyone, for participating. I can see a few people here. I hope I am making some kind of impact, and that if anything you take away from here is just this stuff is not difficult. You just need to see how it needs to get done. But thank you very much for all of you being here. Tell the rest of the people also to come and log in for tomorrow if they can. Thank you very much. Ma'am, I'm done. You can mute me, and then when the time is up, you can end the session. Thank you very much.
I'm going to end the meeting now.